We're driving on down the road. I'm like, Pitt's pretty darn good. And you called that one. You said they might show up in that ACC championship game, and they're a tough team. I think they're a tough out. And, listen, taking nothing away from Clemson. Clemson's one of the several best, although Alabama may have a chink in the armor because their quarterback, I think, is banged up a little more than everyone lets on, and it's going to be interesting to see how they finish the season.
Third down for CSU. Hill flings it. Pass is caught by Nico Hall, replacing the injured B.C. Johnson tonight. You also saw in the graphic there, Northwestern clinched the spot, punched its ticket in the Big Ten championship game. Nobody saw that coming. The Fighting Pat Fitzgeralds finding a way in the Big Ten, and now Colorado State with some tempo. The fullback, Adam Prentice, hit the hole hard, picked up 6 yards.
Roy, when you look, wouldn't you love to sit in one of those CFP meetings? I mean, I'd love to. And, I don't see, I like the balance of power, to tell you the truth, across the landscape. And I think if you get a couple weeks to prepare for a team, if you give, Jim Chaney at Georgia, you give him a couple weeks to prepare for someone, well, they got to where they needed to go last year, almost to the very end, almost to the last play of the season.
Third down and short. First time tonight CSU's been in the red zone, and Prentice only had 4 carries on the season coming in. Has 2 more on this possession, and we thought we may see him touch the football a couple of times. And Mike Bobo reiterated to us this week that he's an absolute stud, a warrior is what he called him, a former walk-on that tore his ACL the day after he was awarded a scholarship. So, chance here, the 6-year player, to get a couple of yards. Feel good about the close potentially to his career. Prentice again right through the middle. On first down, he'll pick up a couple.
Well, and Prentice will he'll honk it up on in there. I mean, he is a tough guy, and when the coach gives you that kind of compliment, just an all-around good person. And a tough football player. One of the captains. They just, you hate getting shut out. I'm telling you, you got to get points.
Prentice, the last time the Rams were shut out 5 years ago against Utah State. Last time Nevada pitched a shutout back in 2011. UNLV got rolled 37-0. So those streaks on the line tonight, almost halfway through our fourth quarter. Nevada jumped out early, never looked back. It's 13-0 quickly, and then it's been a solid conclusion. And now CSU will avoid the shutout. Williams in the back of the end zone. 9th touchdown grab of the season. And a bright spot here at the bitter end for CSU.
Well, they kept fighting, Roy, and, Williams is going to get his. That, I believe, well, he's still not over. Unless he'll play in the back of the end zone. Just a little quick seam route. Puts it right on the money to Preston Williams. And, give Colin Hill a little time to throw and be able to set his feet. He has the arm strength to get things done.
And a few remaining. The vested interest in this one, hoping perhaps for one more touchdown or not.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
College football on ESPN on this Saturday night, presented by Dr. Pepper, and a 49-7 lead. Nevada on senior night all over CSU. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott. They're in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, the Silver State. And all kinds of good things cooking up for the Wolfpack tonight. Flag on the field at the 30 on the kick return by Jackson Kincaid. Kevin Hassel once again.
Yeah, they've had to sort out some laundry tonight. Man, there are several flags again on the play.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 85. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, first down.
Don't forget to kick off your Week 10 NFL Sunday, ESPN, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Countdown returns. Sam and the guys will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, previews of each and every game. Also live on the ESPN app. And Monday Night Football. Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, Jason Witten crew. Giants, 49ers, Monday night, 8:15. All get started with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 6 Eastern. The Fighting Nick Mullins trying to get the job done as the inside handoff picks up a couple for the Wolfpack. And Tom, a good point, or a good time rather, to point out the play of Ty Ganji on senior night once again, and what a performance it was. 4 touchdown passes, threw for almost 400 yards, nearly a career high. And for a journeyman quarterback that started at Colorado, went the community college route in California, earned the respect of this team the hard way here in Reno. It's got to feel good to go out on top like this. And we talked to him this week. I said, what would it mean to go to a bowl game? He goes, it's what we've been talking about and planning for all year long, going back to the summertime workouts when it was just us out there, no coaches. That was the goal, and we're on the cusp of getting there. Tonight, they got there.
They're going bowling, and Christian Solano stepped in relief. But, you know, Ganji, 404 yards, 28 of 35, Roy, tonight, and the 4 touchdowns. Several going to Dubs, one to Fossum. Fossum, his first one, and, of course, Elijah Cooks on the deep ball. And Ty Ganji, I thought, had such great control tonight. You know, hitting the crosser early to Dubs, throwing it to Dubs in the corner of the end zone, and Dubs doing a great job getting 1 foot in. And then it was the one-hander by Maddox. Then it was the dime throw to Cooks. And the other one to Dubs. It's not so impressive tonight, so accurate.
Ty Ganji will go to the postseason for the first time in his career. And in the final home game here in Reno, a big-time win for the fifth-year senior.
Yeah, impressive career numbers, 52 touchdowns, 6,500 yards. And, a moment ago, you made mention, you said journeyman. I would disagree a little bit. I would say he's going to get some accolades in the Mountain West Conference. He's put up big numbers all year long. Preston Williams retreats.
And he'll make it back to the 44. Punt of 48 yards. CSU will take over. And I respect that. And I certainly get it. And I think we've gotten to know Ty a little bit and his family. And they would tell you that this is just a fantastic way to close out a career. You see his good friend, the starting center, Sean Krebs, talking things over with him. It's how you like to conclude things. Want to go out on top, go out on the right foot. And he's got 2 more games. Both of those are going to be on the road. San Jose State and UNLV, which is a big rivalry here in the Silver State.
But I'm always impressed. I think, again, it flows, back to Jay Norvell being, super open and candid with Ty Ganji.
Jackson dropped it. Hill threw a dart, and Jackson couldn't find a way to reel it in.
Right, there are no secrets where up at Nevada football, I mean, head coach, quarterback in lockstep, and, you know, they rely on each other. And I just think that when you have that vision come together in parallel, it always means something really special for your team.
Late pressure as Hill flings it out of bounds. It'll bring up third down, approaching 6 to play.
It's hard to get alignment.
Right.
You know,
I'm with you. I do want to go back to one other point in your top 6 as you see Jay Norvell and his senior quarterback. You did have Notre Dame in front of Clemson, and you're one of the few analysts that I've seen show that. It's not a big deal right now, but to a lot of people seeing it, they want to know why.
You know what it really is? It's a tie for number 2. So I think they're both equally good. And I don't. It's a 2-3 or a 2-3. I could put Clemson at 2. I like to be a little different, just to kind of shake it up, make a little more conversation. But I think Notre Dame has been deserving of it all year long, whereas, you know, Alabama, Clemson, I've had them in my top 2 the entire year. When ESPN asked the analysts, hey, well, you know, what are your top 2 teams? Well, these are my top 2.
Well, and it's interesting, too, and the reason I bring that up, because what we hear from most people right now this month is there's 2 elite teams, Bama and Clemson, and then there's a big difference between those 2 and everybody else. And I think your point is valid as a toss and a grab is made by Preston Williams. Your point is valid that Notre Dame probably should be in that conversation as well. The gain of 35 yards by Williams.
Well, the common denominator of the top 4 teams as it stands today, the common denominator, they all have tremendous defensive lines. Tremendous.
We'll fake the handoff to Kinsey. Pass is batted down.
And so when each of those top 4 teams that sit there today, Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan, take a look at their defensive lines. And then they're getting stellar quarterback play as well, all 4 teams. And so, you know, something to be said about, you know, whether you manage the game or whether you chunk it down the field. Trevor Lawrence. You know, that kid's never going to cut his hair. He's on such a roll. Like, why would you ever cut your hair?
2nd and goal. Kinsey to the edge, to the end zone. There's a flag back at the 10. Kinsey did sneak just inside the pylon.
Number 77, 10-yard penalty.
And many across the country right now, Tom Ramsey, on the edge of their seats.
You know, in watching College Game Day this morning, one of the funniest little posters I saw, Reese Davis's face with Trevor Lawrence's hair. I thought that was special.
Well, I saw one like that. It was Fabio's face with Trevor Lawrence's hair, and I was trying to figure out what that meant, and I think I finally got it.
Oh, it's good. Fabio. Yeah, how about that? 25 years on the air, man. Game Day still rolling.
Well, Nevada came into this contest as a 13-point favorite. That has been decided, but it's another number listed at just over 62 that has not. See what happens here in the final moments. Kinsey, inside give, will make it inside the 15. 3rd down and goal upcoming.
I like talking about the top 10. I like talking about the top 4. I like talking about top 25 too. I mean, hey, what about this? Cincinnati, who they didn't break into the CFP, but, you know, again, another one-loss team. They travel down to UCF, and they may give UCF the biggest challenge they've had to date. Well, maybe not. At least this year, it'll be the toughest test for sure.
Hill out of the shotgun again, flings it, end zone, and incomplete. It'll be 4th and goal. Warren Jackson got a fingertip on it. Look at the contenders in the group of 5. UCF, of course, ranked 12th by the College Football Playoff Committee. Utah State, we made the case for the Aggies back in the first half. Now 9-1. They've won 9 in a row. And Cincinnati, UCF, that's going to be a war. And the Bearcats do have the kind of defense to impact McKenzie Milton.
Well, and what's great out of those 4 teams, Cincinnati plays UCF and Boise State will play Utah State the day, 2 days after Thanksgiving. But both those games are tremendous games.
32-yard field goal attempt by Wyatt Bryan is good. 49-10, under 5 to go. 59 total points scored this evening.
Well, the Rams, yes, that's closing in on a number some people pay attention to. I think it's 62.5.
Don't forget, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or by visiting ESPNplus.com. Majority of Mackey Stadium has emptied out on this senior night victory. Now, the Mountain West Conference with numerous bowl tie-ins. Be interesting to see where the Wolfpack end up. Victory number 6 tonight. And a chance for 2 more on the road at UNLV and San Jose State. Live football, Mannix has to make sure he gains possession as he's shoved out of bounds. Wolfpack defense on point tonight. Offense has been, as you would expect, gigantic. Through 4 touchdowns. Nearly 410 yards through the air. Dubs called 2 of those. Cooks another one. Dropping dimes like it was his job, and tonight it was. It was one that he did at a very high level.
Well, they did play well, I think, in all 3 phases. And, Kincaid over for a score, and, they're just so good. They spread the field out. Fossum, of course, with his first touchdown. And CSU, of course, they're not giving up by any stretch. And they've been a good team in this conference. They've struggled this year with numerous things. I just think, again, the loss of Dalen Dawkins, the running back from a year ago, who put up, over 1,300 rush yards, and then also you're missing a guy, Michael Gallup, who, Preston Williams has made up a lot of that difference. But, Roy, it's been the offensive line. When you just don't get the push at the point of attack, it's hard to generate that kind of offense.
Solano's the quarterback. He has 1 start this season. That was against Fresno State. And a nifty run. Crossing the 45. That's a gain of 23. 49-10 game. Russell Booz. His first carry of the night. And Jay Norvell digging deep into his depth chart on senior night. And why not? He pounded out over 600 yards of total offense. What will it take for CSU to get back to where it has been? In contention, they've won 7 games, 3 years in a row in Mike Bobo's first 3 campaigns. You live in the Denver area, so you're familiar with what they do and what they haven't done. In your estimation, what will it take?
I think Colin Hill is the future at quarterback. I've seen enough of him to know that, and I think the CSU coaching staff feels comfortable there. I think, getting a marquee running back, and whether that comes from within the program or they have someone they recruit or someone that transfers in, I think that's imperative, Roy, and gaining the continuity of the offensive line and really, talking to John Jancic, the defensive coordinator last night, and again today before the game. You know, if they get a spring practice under their belt and the system, and they get a couple more players in key positions, I think, you know, you got to get an edge rusher, right? I mean, guys like Malik Reed on the Nevada Wolfpack, I mean, those guys are hard to find, but when you find a guy with such great versatility and a guy who can just wreak havoc off the edge, those are the kind of guys that, you know, become all conference players, all defensive, you know, all league, all, you know, maybe all American. That's the kind of guy, and they're hard to find, but they're out there.
After a 17-yard run by Solano, Booz picks up a couple as time winds down. Last home game for Nevada here in 2018.
And you know what I like about Mike Bobo and his staff? They recruit all over the country. They'll get guys out of Georgia, because Mike Bobo knows where some of the hidden gems are in the Southeast, some of the good high schools that produce good players. I mean, they got kids from Texas, Colorado, California. I mean, they're going to get kids from all over, and their facilities at Fort Collins are tremendous.
Jay Norvell will call a timeout. We'll recognize and honor those seniors one more time. We're also being told that UNLV has upset San Diego State tonight. So the running Rebels, not on the hardwood, but
how about that? How about that?
Rebs find a way.
Tony Sanchez and the Rebs.
They've got a new on-campus stadium coming. San Diego State, the voters earlier in the week approved their new stadium, which is a big deal for Rocky Long and the Aztec program. But that's a stunner in the Mountain West to see UNLV beat San Diego State tonight on the road.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
You just never know, Tom Ramsey. You never know.
Well, you know, Jay Norvell said something as they get into victory formation. Jay Norvell, I liked what he said when I asked him about this conference, and he's played in the Pac-12. He's played in the Big 12. He's played in the Big 10. I mean, he was an Iowa star under Hayden Fry. What he said, in this conference, the Mountain West, you got to wipe the slate clean every week and prepare for the next battle, because that's what it takes. And you know what? Every coach in the country, I mean, they're doing that. You have to, whether you win, lose, or draw. I did get a kick out of Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator. I said, how was your bye week last week? He said, there are no losses during a bye week. I thought that was clever by him.
Should be the final play of this one. Wolfpack just need to kneel it down one more time. And they'll do that and let the party begin in Reno for the first time since 2015. The Pack is back in postseason play. Nevada is bowl eligible. And the final score tonight on senior night, 49-10. Congratulations to Jay Norvell in his second season. Pack trending in the right direction. It'll be back to the drawing board for Mike Bobo and the CSU Rams.
Well, they're able to put a nice game plan together, execute it, and really keep CSU on their heels all night long. But Nevada and Ty Ganji, really special evening tonight.
Ganji throws for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nevada's defense rock solid in a 49-10 victory. Our producer, Greg Pike, our director, Jimmy Lee Starling. For Tom Ramsey, I'm Roy Philpott saying good night. The biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, 49-10 the final. Fresno State and Boise State headed your way right now.